Okay, we've been talking about the Travis pattern and Travis picking, and we've worked on the bass line. We've added in treble strings and displaced them off of the quarter notes and onto the eighth notes, the end of the beats. What I want to do is I want to do a new chord, and what we're going to do is we're going to take the C chord. Third fret on the fifth string, second fret, open G string, first finger on the first fret, and open E string. We're going to add the pinky, and that's going to create a C7 chord. So pinky's added on the third string, third fret. And if we just take this up, so one, two, three, 4 frets, so that our first finger is now on the fifth fret. Okay, we have an E7 chord, and all 6 strings are good. Okay, but I'm actually only going to I'm not going to use the first finger note, so I'm just going to use these 3 notes. So it kind of looks like a D7 shape. Okay, so we have an E here at the 7th fret, and then a G sharp at the 6th fret of the 4th string, and on the 3rd string we have a D, which is also at the 7th fret. Okay, and I just want you to take the thumb, and we're going to go back and forth between the 5th string and the 4th string, like this. And when we go down to the 4th string, I want you to pinch the first finger, okay, on the G string. So it's kind of like a rhythm. It's like a rhythm guitar part. And if we do the alternating bass, we get that kind of sound. Okay, now what I want to do is I want to keep these 2 fingers here. I have my second finger on the G sharp on the 4th string, and my pinky's on the D on the G string. Keep those there and go like that. So I'm hitting the E, and I'm going to go down to D and do those 2 notes again. C sharp, so I'm stretching a little bit, creating a C sharp and a little dissonance there, and then to B. Try that. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now I talked about this quite a while ago about guide tones, and essentially what we have here are these 2 notes that we're hanging on to on all the beats are the 3rd and the 7th. Okay, and those are the guide tones of any 7th chord. The guide tones would be the 3rd and 7th. Okay, if we just take those down a fret, it's really cool because now we get the guide tones of the A7 chord. Okay, so here's an A7 chord. 5th fret, 6th string, nothing on the 5th string, 5th fret, D string, and 6th fret on the G string. Okay, and there's our A7 chord. Now, what's interesting is when we were here at the E, when we were playing the E7 chord, this was the 3rd and the 7th was the top note. But when we move down here, the 7th is the bottom note and the 3rd is the top note. So their roles reversed, but it's just that simple. And what's interesting there too, so that's the E7 chord, A7, which is the 4 chord, back to E7. If you go up a fret, you create the B7, which is the 5 chord. So they're all right next to each other, so it creates for a real easy accompaniment, chord accompaniment, the top part. Okay, the bass line is going to maybe be more tricky. And then I'm going to go down to A, and then I'm going to play A, and I'm going to play the middle 2 strings again with my thumb and first finger. Okay. I'm doing the bass line is I'm going A, C sharp, D, D sharp, or E flat, and then up there. And if you want to, you can grab it like this. You can go. I've got my still my second and third and second finger and pinky playing those two notes. Okay, and then we're going to go to C sharp. Just move my first finger to the 4th fret of the 5th string, move it up another fret, and then take my 3rd finger and place it there on the E flat, and then now you're just making the same shape you're going to need for the E. Just go up a fret. we got a 1-4 progression. I can make it a little bit more interesting if I want to make it a little more harmonically complex. We can go to the B flat there instead of the B. Okay, so normally I would go E, D, C sharp, B to A, and then climb up chromatically from there. But I could do this also where I take, instead of going to B, I go to B flat. So that makes it a little more interesting. You don't have to do it every time, it can be improvisational. Okay, so I'm just going to use the B for now. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the bass note with the thumb, then the pinch on 2, and I'm going to go down, and then I'm going to play the first finger first, and then answer with the thumb. There's going to be so now I'm playing actually something on the end of 3. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, and you can see the thumb and then the pinch. Move the bass note down, and then answer the movement of the bass note down with the first finger, and then so I'm also doing that collapsed hand thing that I was telling you about. Instead of, if I did classical, you would hear more ringing. Collapse thing where I bring the side of my hand down to the strings. E flat. Okay. Now, let's say we want to go to the 5 chord. Remember I showed you the B chord is right there. Here's the A chord. 5. Nothing on the 5th string, 5 and 6. Go up 2 frets and we get 7, 7, 8. Okay. So if we're going to go from the E to the B, one way we could do it is kind of the same way we're going from the A to the E. Okay, it's the same movement. That's up a 5th. E to B is also up a 5th. So on the A we went the root, 3rd, 4th, sharp 4, and then that lands us on the 5th, which is the root of the E chord. So if we're on E chord and we want to go to B chord, we can do the same thing. We can go root, 3rd, 4th, sharp 4, and then 5th, which is the root of the B chord. Okay, so it sounds like this. I got rid of the stutter and the separation here. I'm just going to do the chords real simple. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then we have to come up with something to do on that. Okay, so that would be E. So now when you play this, going from the E down here to the G sharp, it's a real stretch. If you're playing it with these 3 fingers like this, leaving your first finger free, you can just reach down and get the G sharp with your first finger. And then, that's kind of weird harmonically too, but it's moving. It's kind of, the A is a passing chord. Your ear knows what's coming. Okay. So I'm basically going E down to A, back to E, then E to B, B to E. And so what I'm doing on the B, playing the B note, and then I'm reaching down. I might bring in just these two fingers, the third and fourth finger on the guide tones of the B chord. So that would be the 7th fret of the 4th string and the 8th fret of the 3rd string. Reach down and get that D sharp. I'm sorry, the C sharp. And I'm climbing chromatically from that point to get to the E. So B. Again, there's all sorts of weird dissonant kind of phrases or chords that are created by the moving bass and the static chord. The chord is staying the same, but the bass is moving all over the place. So A, E to B, or I could go you don't always have to have a moving bass. You can keep it pretty simple. Now, I chose the key of E. The great thing about this is I could do this in any key because I'm not using, as of yet, I haven't used any open strings. So if I want to go down to E flat, E flat, I can do it just as easily. But I chose E because I wanted to maybe take advantage of some of the open strings. I got the top 2 strings that, on all 3 of these chords, you could feasibly use, okay? Over the E chord, the B string is the 5th, the E is the root, no big deal. Over the A chord, the A7 chord, the B string would be a 2nd or a 9th, and the E would be a 5th, so that's also fine. The B chord's a little weird. B is the root, which is great, but the E is the 4th. It sounds a little weird against the D sharp, but can work, or you just avoid it and play only the B string. So now I can add some extra notes to it. Check it out. See that? It adds some interesting extra voices in there, and it gets a ringing quality that you maybe don't have. And I can still do it with a muted. But the whole point of adding the open strings is to kind of give it a ringing. Okay, God bless you guys. I'll talk to you soon, and we'll do some more work on a Travis pattern.